On this episode of Star Trek Universe, we are talking about the notable Star Trek Day news drops. And I mean, God, we're talking about trailers and stuff. So I'm excited. There's a lot of cool news. We'll get into it right after these words from our mystery sponsors.
Welcome to Star Trek Universe, the podcast where you get to listen in while two lifelong friends talk about Star Trek. My name's Matthew Carroll.
I am David C. Robertson.
How you doing tonight, Dave?
I'm okay. I'm a little, I don't know. I feel off. It's like, like every little thing is just like, man, I got to do the cast. Man, I got to put on a shirt. I don't want to be Bert Kirshner. Anyway, I don't know. Every little thing's off. How are you, man?
I'm pretty terrible.
Yeah. I know.
Pretty terrible. Having a tough week for lots of reasons, but I also have COVID and I've been really, really nauseous and stuff. I've had a really, really tough few days of like being laid up in bed sick. So, but I'm on the mend, man. Feeling better, doing good, ready to do this thing. But yeah. Tonight I was feeling really depressed. I haven't had much human contact in a few days. I just feel really like down, and so I decided I need to put on something that I really love, and so I put on Bo Burnham's Inside, which I love with passion. It is not a good thing to watch while you're depressed.
No.
And I kind of knew that. I guess my depression was choosing what I watched, probably a little bit.
Yeah, I tried to watch it a few months ago when it came out, and I was just like, this is not for me at this moment. And I have not felt like it has been for me ever since. I
have other friends who say like they'll say how much it's like an artistically fulfilling thing, but they just can't. Like it's not for like they can't. When they watch it, it just makes them break down in tears. And I'm like, yeah, tonight I kind of got that. Yeah, I was feeling that tonight.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't make me break down in tears. It was just like, okay, I can't do it. I just can't do it.
Yeah, there's some pretty intense moments in there. Have you? So you haven't seen it all the way through?
I haven't seen it. I watched about 10 minutes of it, and I was like, nah, I can't do this right now.
There's a part, and it was the last part I watched before I hopped on the cast, actually. There's a part in it where he's like, it's cuts down, it does this thing throughout where it's jumping in time from the beginning to the end. He never shows his beard. So like throughout the entire production, you can kind of tell where he is along that process by how long his beard is. And it cuts to him and he's sitting there. He's kind of goofy and he's like, man, if you ever think about suicide, just don't. Just don't. Because you don't want to die. Because dying's forever, and you're not supposed to be dead forever yet. And it's sort of this like tongue-in-cheek, like I'm overly happily telling people not to commit suicide, like sort of the thinnest veneer of like it is ridiculous to like look at someone who's feeling suicidal and tell them, oh, just don't do that. Don't feel that way. Like it's like this sort of that's the joke of that skit, and then it cuts to him. And it turns out you've been watching him watching that, but it's like 7 months later, 8 months later, and his beard's grown out and it's being projected onto him. It's like his white shirt and it's like projecting his previous self being like, just don't, man. If you're feeling like that, just don't. And he's like, just like staring blankly at the wall. And it's like, this is terrible. This is so hard. It's really hard to watch.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I kind of got glimpses of it because Bethany watched it all the way through, and I just kind of go out for a drink or something and see it and go like, oh, okay. It hasn't gotten better for me.
I mean, there's really dark parts like that, but then there's really just like silly, funny parts too.
I'm like, I'm going to go back to my office and watch Bill Burr. That's
fair. Well, let's talk about this Star Trek Day, man. 2022.
Yeah, man. So first big piece of news, they have a new engineer on Strange New Worlds, and it is Carol Kane.
Oh, yeah, I saw this.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, interesting.
Palia is the name of the character, I guess, and it says an engineer who is described as highly educated and intelligent, and someone who suffers no fools. So pretty much every other chief engineer. It's basically just Himmer. But
it's him or you know, oh gosh, what's
Tignataro.
Yeah, Tignataro,
Yeah.
or the freaking blonde guy from Discovery back when he seemed like he was the Stamets. I could not. Yeah. I just watched an entire season of Discovery the other day. It auto played after something, and I was working on my computer, and I ended up watching like almost an entire season. And yeah, I don't know why I can't think of his name. I like just watched an entire season, had a ton of him in it.
Yeah, Pelia solves problems calmly and brusquely thanks to her many years of experience. And of course, all I think of is just like her character on Kimmy Schmidt, who's like weeping because of, you know, the gentrification of her neighborhood and getting angry because she's like throwing beer bottles into the street and some dude with a man bun comes along, picks it up, puts it in the recycling bin.
It'll be interesting to see her. Strange New Worlds has that sort of like, I don't know, sort of broad nature to it, but I guess I think of her and I think of like all these broad comedies she's been in over the years, and that tone is very different for Strange New Worlds. Kind of, there's it has a little of that to it, but yeah, I don't know. That'll be interesting. And
they released a clip though of the next season of Strange New Worlds, and it was a well, who is this character now? I can't remember. Ortega's. It was centered around Ortega's being upset because she thought she was going to be able to go to the landing party, and it was fun because it was like the
because you like to see her have bad things happen to her.
No, I didn't enjoy her at all, but I did like that they were going to the same planet that Pike did or had in the cage.
Were they?
That was like their outfits were in a reference to like the big dude who fought Pike at that like temple or whatever it was. Remember, because he had just like lost some crew members, and that's why he was like, I'm tired of deciding who lives and who dies, you know. So that was a fun little bit, but totally. It looked like Strange New Worlds, man. You know.
Yeah, it did. It feels so strange to me to see it coming so soon, or like the fact that they're releasing clips from season 2. I feel like season 1 was just on the air, and I think it's a COVID scheduling thing. But like,
yeah, probably
we're gonna get to season 2. Feels like way faster than we should.
Well, yeah, it does. But I think partially it's COVID, partially it's they were picked up for 2 seasons pretty immediately, so they were shooting as we were watching the last one, so
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
Did you see that Billy Campbell is returning as the outrageous Akona in Star Trek Prodigy?
I guess not.
Yeah, I sent a YouTube as a clip of.
I did see the clip. I guess I don't know that. What character is this?
Akona from TNG, the episode "The Outrageous Akona."
Okay, I guess I don't remember him.
Yeah, he was Thadian Akona, a roguish space captain who was constantly outrunning trouble caused by his own shenanigans.
Nice. Sounds very Mud-like.
It says here, when he runs into the young, impressionable Protostar crew, he'll soon discover they're in more hot water than he is. He will spend some time with them, as he is confirmed in a recurring role in the show.
That's fun.
I said from early on in the writer's room, we knew we wanted Captain Thadian Akona to return and become a questionable guide to our impressionable crew. He was so much fun to not only explore where Akona's outrageous life has taken him in his later years, but to also work with Billy Campbell, who effortlessly fell back into the role of Akona like he never left. And they had a clip, like it looks like Murph is in some sort of a freaking egg, and he's about to, like, they're like, oh, I wonder what he's going to turn into.
Yeah, so it looks like Murph. To me, what I took that as is what the form we've been seeing Murph this whole time has been an egg. Like it looked like his body had like shattered and something new had emerged from it.
Well, at first, like in the clip, we see there is some sort of like chrysalis.
Yeah. It looked like he had like crystallized over or something.
Yeah.
And but then when it breaks open, you can kind of see that it looks like Murph sitting, like a broken open Murph sitting on the ground, which means he's been an egg this whole time, I guess, or in some sort of pupa form or whatever.
Yeah.
That's super fun.
They have said that Murph is something we should recognize, and it's a secret. So
okay, so that's a new clue that he, evolve, like whatever, he metamorphosizes
It's like, it's a Pokemon, isn't it? It's a Pokemon. You're bringing Pokemon into the Star Trek universe.
I love the idea of bringing back, although I unfortunately don't remember Captain Akona. I think that's really fun that they're grabbing like a single episode character from TNG and exploring them for an entire season on Prodigy, or at least in a recurring role. That's super cool. Yeah,
had a beard and a ponytail, wore a vest.
I probably remember. Maybe if I go back and watch the episode, I'll be like, "Oh, that guy."
Yeah.
But I'm not. It's not coming to me right now. I got COVID brain, man. I don't know.
I know. So season 1 returns October 27th.
Okay.
So Star Trek Prodigy's coming soon, man.
Crazy.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah, really crazy. That's even wilder than. Well, I guess that was before Strange New Worlds, but still, it just feels like both these shows are coming so soon. That's great.
Yeah. They did a clip for Crisis Point 2 Paradoxus for Lower Decks, which is the sequel to the Boimler Star Trek movie parody holodeck adventure that the holonovel he was writing.
Oh man, I don't know that I do.
Yeah, it's like in like, it's a holodeck movie sequel. Remember in season 1, they did a thing that was basically like just a huge homage to like a bunch of the old Star Trek movies. And they had it like in proper like cinematic widescreen.
That's awesome.
It's like The Wayfarer.
I'm going to have to go back and rewatch it.
Yeah, they're doing a sequel episode to it. So
nice.
It looks fun. And they did they had a teaser for Star Trek Picard. What did you think of that?
Man, I dug it. I dug it a lot. Just good to see the crew again. We didn't get too much in the way of plot, except for we're going to get the crew together, which is nice.
Yeah.
I really love the line when Picard is like, "Now I can't ask you to put your life in danger," and Riker's like, "Since when?"
Yeah.
That's what we do. I liked that a lot. I like the new ship. I'm very curious. There's that shot where they like angle the camera around as if and he says, "Hello, beautiful," and then they aim and then they cut really fast. And I'm assuming that's a ship that they didn't show in the trailer. There's something there that they didn't show us. It could be the Titan, but I don't know.
Well, Titan is Riker's old ship.
Right. Yeah.
So
it's very possible, but like the way that it cut right as the thing turned and then didn't show the Titan right away. The Titan came in later. Like it made me think that they're pulling up to the Enterprise D or something.
Maybe, but I guess they did say that the Enterprise D was reconstructed for a museum situation. So, but I'm happy to see Seven in a leadership role on a ship.
So she's captain of the Titan.
I think they said she was a commander, but there might not be a captain.
Okay. Captain in role, if not rank.
It's not like a terribly huge amount, but I feel like they don't really need a lot to sell us on.
No. They don't need a lot to sell us on watching a series with all of the Next Generation crew returning at all. What they do need is to land the plane. Like they need to do well with this finale season of Picard. I need them to if they're gonna bring these characters back, I need it to be something good. I just don't want it to be fan servicey and then just a bad story.
Well, at the same time, I'm trying really hard to understand that just because it's not what I would have done is, not necessarily a bad thing.
No, I don't, it's not it's what I would have done thing. I just have significant problems with some of the things they've done so far. And I just don't feel like they've wrapped. And, maybe they're not trying to wrap it, but I think they are. I think the whole point of the series is they're trying to, give us one last hurrah with Picard.
I think they are, but Patrick Stewart said if they wanted him to come back, he would come back. I'm like, okay.
I know, but he's also getting on up there. I think they don't want to plan around that. Yeah, I think this is probably the last big hurrah for Picard. I think it's likely he may die at the end. You know, the series is called Picard. It might be his big swan song, is what I've been imagining this entire time. So I guess part of it is that I put a lot of weight on that. Like, if it's going to be a swan song, I want it to be, you know, I want it to do well at wrapping up his character. And I do think that just bringing back the Enterprise D crew gets a long way to that. Like, he can have those interactions we need him to have with the crew that he was always. We saw him sit down at the poker game, but we never saw the results of that, really. You know, I mean, we do in the movies, but they're very short-lived, I guess.
Yeah, they didn't go into a lot of character development in the movies that didn't involve Picard or Data.
Yeah, exactly.
But I would say, you know, keep your excitement, but then pull back on your expectations. Like,
yeah, sure.
Because I just, you know, I'm tired of not liking things.
That's fine. I also am tired of them making shitty decisions. So, like, I don't know. I can't give up my expectations fully because I want, like, otherwise there's got to be a little bit of like, oh, you did not do that. Like, if they came in and like the characterizations didn't fit the original characters at all, and they're all just completely different people, and like we didn't get, you know, we don't get any of the moments we need from those characters. You know, I need to see Riker step up and lead Picard in some moments, because that's his whole journey was about him becoming a leader. You know what I mean? I need to see Riker lead in this thing a little bit. Whether he's leading Picard or not, that's a whole different thing. But I need like some things from each of those characters. I need a little bit of an explanation to the like sort of will they, won't they between Picard and Crusher, you know? Yeah.
Will you be okay if Riker's just leading Picard to the bingo hall? Like by the hand. Come on, Grandpa.
Leading him by the arm, a la McCoy in the first episode of TNG.
Yeah.
No, I think that like the whole last season was all about Picard learning that he was worth loving and stuff like that. And then at the end, the girl of his affections takes off. So like, to me, it makes a lot of sense if he like grew through that, and now he might actually have a chance to be with Beverly in his twilight years, you know?
Yeah.
That would be cool. There's just a, you know, and I want to see, you know, how Worf, Deanna, and Riker interact, you know? Which is a whole big question left at the end of TNG.
The weirdest thing to me is that, like, I have been more excited, and it's not really weird, I guess, it's because it's me, but I've been more excited about the DS9 hints that the producers have given.
Oh, 100%.
That I have been about seeing really almost anybody. I'm just like, but DS9, you're doing some DS9 stuff, right?
I know that's very much mine and your favorite Star Trek, and like, it's hard because I think it's also the one that they view as least popular. And I know that might have been true at the time, but I don't think that's true. So many Star Trek fans I talk to are like, no, DS9 is my favorite, you know? But yeah, I am the same way. I'm like, yeah, why are you bringing back all this TNG stuff, all this Voyager stuff? And like, I've yet to see much of my DS9.
Yeah. Which, you know, Denise Crosby came out a few weeks ago and hinted that there might be something going on with her in TNG. Or not, sorry, in Picard. So,
yeah.
I'm like, let's see Crosby, let's see Pulaski. I like Pulaski. Oh, by the way, Star Trek Picard Season 3 premieres Thursday, February 16th.
Thursday, February 16th. Oh, man. Yeah, so we got a ways.
Yeah. Well, kind of, but like also like, so. We're gonna have like, you know, we've got Lower Decks, and we're gonna have freaking Prodigy for a while.
And I'm wondering if Strange New Worlds is closer than we think too. Like it might be wedged in between.
It might be. Yeah, I'm excited about it. Let's see. They put out a video that I didn't think was very interesting, so I didn't add it to the show notes. It was just like a tour of the set of Discovery for season 5, and all we found out was like, 1, Tilly's back, Tilly's around, and really 2, you know, Burnham is on the bridge in the scene, and they can't tell you what happens afterwards. So
Cool.
That's fine. It's they gave us an official synopsis for season 3. In season 5, Captain Burnham and the crew of the USS Discovery uncover a mystery that sends them on an epic adventure across the galaxy to find an ancient power whose very existence has been deliberately hidden for centuries. But there are others on the hunt as well, dangerous foes who are desperate to claim the prize for themselves and will stop at nothing to get it. I'm hoping, because they didn't say anything about like the fate of the galaxy.
Right.
I'm good with a mystery. I'm cool with a mystery. I just don't want it to be like galaxy ending mystery.
Yeah. And it seems like it could still be, you could have a great risk involved. I mean, there's always a risk involved, but it doesn't have to be the fate of the galaxy. I agree.
Yeah. And they didn't announce when Discovery was coming.
Okay.
So but in the video, they said that they were shooting the 4th episode of the 10 episode season. So it'll probably be late next year.
All right. Cool.
I would say. This is really interesting. And I haven't been seeing a lot of people talk about it. They're launching the first scripted Star Trek podcast, and it is going to be Nicholas Meyer's Star Trek Con Ceti Alpha V.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Nick Meyer showed up at the Star Trek Day thing to announce audio drama podcast, Ceti Alpha V, Con.
This isn't any relation to the movies they were talking about putting out a couple years ago, or the movie.
I think it is.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Because he had talked about previously that one of the problems with it is it was always going to be a limited series because it takes place in between Space Seed and Star Trek 2.
Right.
And how do you justify spending the money on it when it's going to be a very limited series of like 2 or 3 episodes?
Sure.
Well, you turn it into a podcast.
Sure. Yeah.
And I've heard there have been rumblings that this might be like a proving ground to see if there's enough interest for a full-blown series. I am good with this.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I don't need a full-blown series. I'd watch it, but
yeah.
So that's really interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Kate Mulgrew said that there have been conversations about doing a Star Trek Janeway show, but that's up to the fans as much as it is up to her. That's what she's saying. So
cool. Yeah, I'm up for a Janeway show for sure. I think she's amazing on Orange Is the New Black. So and we're going to get a little taste of her in Prodigy. So like the actual Janeway and what she's doing. So we'll see what her life is like now and see if that seems interesting to like follow from here.
Sure. Plus, you saw in this Prodigy clip they put out, she's very clearly much older in real life than her character is on Prodigy right now.
Oh,
so,
okay.
I wouldn't mind seeing, older, like,
yeah.
Janeway, but yeah, she finally catches up with Mark, her fiance from Voyager, who moved on.
Yeah. It's like a revenge story.
Dude, that would be so badass.
Kill Bill, but the Kill Bill Janeway. So that'd be such a shitty thing to do to Janeway's character.
It would.
just so you guys understand, I know how anti-feminist that would be. Like, have her throw away every moral she ever stood for just to like kill the man that spurned her.
Yeah.
so terrible.
It's not even because he spurned her. It's in love. It's because he took her dog,
Oh, okay.
So throw a little John Wick in there.
Yeah, that I can get behind. A little John Wick mixed with Janeway.
Yeah. She's like, that dog went by the Burt Ward diet. It was going to live long, long after I returned from the Alpha Quadrant. You looked confused. The Burt Ward thing
I don't know what that is.
Burt Ward is he was Robin on the old 66 series.
I don't know anything about his diet.
In his, not his specific diet, his is obviously really bad, but he's like he's like really into like these big dogs, and he does all these like special nutrition things for dogs. Anyway.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting. I had to talk to a friend of Alyssa's a while back had a dog, and their goal was to make the dog as big as possible, which I didn't know you could really do that with food. Like you can, it's not just genetics or whatever. Obviously, if someone's like malnourished, they might not grow as tall as they might have or whatever. But apparently, like if you feed a dog this very specific way, certain breeds will just like grow out of control, huge. So that was what he was talking about. Like if he likes those huge dogs, it's crazy.
This is all about, increasing the longevity and the quality of life of these big animals. I don't know.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. It wasn't to make them big. It was specifically to like nourish them and make sure, because a lot of the bigger breeds are not as
shorter lived
or malnourished. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That is different for sure.
Yeah.
I just never heard of that other thing. But yeah, no, the Burt Ward thing sounds like it's just like big dogs die sooner than little dogs. So how can we make that not happen?
Right. So yeah, there's one little piece of news, and it seems really cool. I don't know what to do with it exactly, but Star Trek Online is still happening, and they're doing this like mirror universe invasion storyline right now, and Will Wheaton is coming back to play mirror universe Wesley Crusher, who is like the emperor at this point.
Very strange. It's called Ascension, which I'm like, that sounds like what he did in this universe. So is it because he got like the godlike powers, but then used them for evil?
Maybe.
I don't know. That's crazy.
Maybe so. But that launches on PC September 13th and on consoles at a later date. With a new episode titled Eye of the Storm.
So is that supposed to be canon? Is he at that point? Will he be emperor? And
I think Star Trek Online is pseudo canon. It's like canon adjacent. It's sort of its own thing, while also it's like multiverse. Right, sure. But Mary Wiseman is coming in as Captain Killy, and Chase Masterson is going to be Admiral Lita, and they're doing a whole thing over there. Huh?
Nice.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's all of our news.
Oh, nice. We did it.
We did it. Did we stick the landing, though?
Definitely never. We never stick the landing. Well, it seems like, honestly, like a pretty simple... I remember we did Star Trek Day last year, and it was like a ton of stuff. So, yeah, that's cool. That's not bad. And, like, all of it I'm excited for. There's nothing I'm not excited for. We've got new trailers for a couple things. Like, it's going to be good. I'm excited.
Yeah.
And the fact that Prodigy is coming out so soon is exciting.
Yeah. It's one of those weird things where like, I'm not really excited about anything, but it's not like to detriment. It's like, I'm still interested. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's just like, there's been so much Star Trek stuff now for enough years that I'm not like, but I am just like, okay.
Yeah. It's starting to get that like, oh wow, we got like what a world we live in that we're getting all these things we've always wanted, Yeah. I remember 5-10 years ago us talking about Star Trek and being like, man, it just sucks because like all the actors are gonna die off, and all it just seems like they've taken everything went the JJ route, and it's like our universe that we really care about isn't getting made. Nothing's getting made in that universe anymore. And we're getting so much. That's super rad, man.
Absolutely. And the fact that we're going to cut off this episode, stop this episode, and then record a brand new episode.
Yeah.
Immediately about Lower Decks that we've been missing because we have lives and shit got backed up on us, and people got sick, and you went to a con, and
I did. I went to Dragon Con. It was great.
You go to one con, and I got sick, and we missed 3 episodes of a Star Trek. Because it's just theirs. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the tap is on, man.
And I've got like 2 or 3 backup episodes laying around that I haven't released.
That's right. Cool.
With Christiana. So
yeah, rad, man. Well, I guess we'll get off this one so we can go talk about Lower Decks.
Yeah.
So if you're hanging out, please subscribe. If you found this because of Star Trek Day and we're talking about the news, please subscribe. We'll be talking about all the Star Trek things basically every week as they come out. So go subscribe, and we're going to be back in a couple days with a Lower Decks discussion about the first 3 episodes.
That's right.
Peace. Joel True.
You never remember. Live long and prosper.
I've been remembering good for a while, but we took a few weeks off.
Thank you for listening to the Star Trek Universe Podcast, a Stranded Panda production. If you'd like to hear more from David C. Robertson, check out the DC On Screen podcast or maladjusted.tv for his web videos. If you'd like to hear more from Matthew Carroll, check out the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast or listen to his music. Just search for Matthew Carroll anywhere you get music.